Okay, you're live.
We're live. Welcome to what?
Hi, you're live.
Hi. We're live. Welcome to Federico Advanced Live. I'm Adam Federico. This is my lovely model Kelly. Thank you for tuning in, all one or two of you so far. Anyway, hey, we got DC's in the house. DC, come say hi. Let me give you some props. DC, Carrie, where's Carrie? Get over here. DC.
Sir?
I went to the restroom. I didn't wash my hand.
Oh, God!
Because I heard him say, I'll go to the restroom. He goes, I see how I washed his mouth. I shook his hand before I went to the restroom. I'm just playing. Come on, Carrie. Get that shit, because you're going to have your time to shine up here.
Yes.
And Carrie here. You guys have all known DC. We've started doing Barber Night Live every Tuesday evening from 6 p.m. till roughly about 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, Pacific Standard Time. I don't know where I'm at on this time zone any longer. But this is Carrie, one of our lead barber educators at Federico.
And in front of the camera?
Is she in front? Yay! Say hi. And who would like to see Carrie do some barbering? Please comment in below throughout the show. We got to get some female representation here, right, to balance out the energies. We got, you know, me, Josh, and then obviously DC and Jacob, and then there's been Andy. There hasn't been a lot of has there been any females? Katie?
Because we'll take over.
Yeah, Katie got it.
Oh.
We were just talking about doing a tag team.
Take over.
All right, get out.
Yeah, okay.
Get out.
We were talking about doing a tag team though, Adam.
That's excellent. I like that.
Choo-choo. Good luck.
That's perfect.
Guys.
Thank you very much. So, hey, welcome to Federico Advanced. Let me get started on my haircut. So this is Kelly. She's got this really amazing kind of natural texture that is a little inconsistent in different areas of the head. It's definitely a little tighter of a curl pattern. It's not extremely tight. It's what I call more of like a looser linguid, kind of like beachy wave, if you will, through the back, definitely. The back nape into the crown, even into the sides, and then right around the hairline, it gets a little bit fuzzy, you know, and tight through here. And then the top, it's a little bit more relaxed. The curl pattern is definitely dragged down a little bit more so. The cool thing about Kelly is that she's actually leaving to travel the world. When?
In August 25th.
In August. So Kelly's going to be venturing out to travel the world. And before she leaves, she's like, I just kind of want, like, you know, very minimal hair to deal with, which that's what I'd want if I was out traveling the world. I want, like, don't want to have to worry about what's going up on top of the dome. I want to see what's out in front of me. So tonight we're going to hike the hair up quite a bit. You can see, obviously, through the frontal points, kind of where the lengths were. And the previous haircut was kind of like a square layer technique in the back, working with some round graduated layers through the front. So we're going to bring the length up considerably tonight. And what we're going to do is we're going to bring her into a bob shape. So I'm going to bring up the bottom line of the haircut just above like the collar of the drape here, which would be like the top of the spinal bone. Spinal bone, sure, spinal bone, spine, spinal bone, spine. All right, here. And then we're going to begin to work on a triangular type of graduated technique through the bottom nape, then working up into the crown area. And then as we begin to transition into the sides, we'll continue that shape on, not with a strong A-line, something that's a little bit more like horizontal square in shape, but still with a soft triangular fill through the internal shape of the haircut. Once we get done with that, then we'll drop down this top interior, and that's going to sit a little bit looser and disconnected, still in a triangular layered fill, veiling over the top of the bottom exterior of the head. And what I'm going to do through the top, my idea is I'm going to really begin to go in and open up the inside of the haircut with some tipping through the inner mid-lengths of the hair to begin to remove a lot of the bulk and the weight out, and to begin to actually like carve in and help encourage more of a curl pattern to come to life. Okay? So hopefully, because I said that this area is definitely a little bit more relaxed. So by the end of it, everything will kind of flow together a bit more so. And then we'll diffuse her into her natural texture and take a look at it. And I told her, like, don't be scared when I diffuse you. I'm gonna hopefully get you, you know, obviously diffused out a little bit bigger than you may naturally wear it, but obviously it looks better on camera for the video as well as the post shots we're gonna do. So.
We just love the 80s.
We love the 80s. The 80s are coming back. So I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna use the plie. Imagine that, Josh.
Yeah, great.
I cut with the scissor last time around.
So stoked.
So I've been practicing in the mirror at home.
Really?
No.
Oh.
Yeah. So head position will go forward, all right, to build up a nice graduated shape. You can see that my basic sectioning is I've got the interior from the exterior subdivided with an internal section floating right around the parietal ridge of the head, and then it's dropping down into a very low rounded V shape into the high crown, you know, obviously below the apex here. And then I've got a division separating my side from my back right here at the mastoid process. And then subdividing out the back of the head, central division down. And then my first two working subsections will be basic diagonal forward subsections to build up a soft A-line shape and begin to work that A-line internal shape. So here we go. All right. So I'm going to come back in, fine teeth in my comb, begin working on the right side of the head. And I'm going to use really nice combing, equal distribution. Finger positions are now parallel with that subsection line, dropping them down because this is going to definitely pop up a bit. With the plie, is going to go in, I'm going to use the tip because I'm cutting to the right of the razor, and just begin to go in and lightly with a small stroke or a closed stroke, if you will, etch in the line. Then I'll move into the left side. Same thing, bring this back, working with what we call perpendicular distribution. Finger position will be parallel to that subsection line. Now I'll be utilizing the heel of the blade, cutting to the left. I'm a right-handed hair cutter, so there's a little song and dance you do in your head. It's like the Irish jig when you're using the razor. Tip to the right, heel to the left. So as I'm cutting to the right, at any given time, I'm going to use the tip of the razor to create my line. And when I'm cutting to the left, I'll use the heel of the razor. One, because I have more control over my tool and working my right hand over my left hand. And it's just, yeah, it's just a better type of use of the tool, posture, technique, and dexterity, all those good things. I really, you know. And I'll continue on with the subsequent subsections, mirroring the previous. And feel free, you know, you can always comment in below, ask questions in regards to the haircut, what we're doing here at Federico Advanced, which, you know, I'll always catch you up on the calendar. But I feel like, you know, a lot of the times in these shows, I generally shoot my load too fast. And that's horrible to say.
That
was horrible.
Bad analogy.
Bad analogy?
I didn't. I did not need it. I think there's pills for that.
Was that a party killer, Josh? Sorry.
Wow.
Sorry, you give me a glass of wine and, you know, it's horrible.
There we go.
Yeah. So
North Shore 45 says
North Shore's in. What's that?
your back sections look like waves. Makes me want to go surfing.
Yeah. Looks like waves. I love it, North Shore. No, I know North Shore is always, you know, commenting in. So my question would be, North Shore, are you actually from the North Shore? Or are you living in the North Shore? Or are you elsewhere in the States wishing that you were
Obviously somewhere really boring. Because he's watching every episode.
What up? Yeah.
Thank you, that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm not complaining, North Shore. Please
Yeah, we
ask the
love you, North
questions,
Shore.
right? I can guarantee North Shore is here. I love you, man.
Not that drunk yet.
No. Tonight's the first night. We always talk about beer and burgers. Well, tonight we got the beer. You're in good hands, though, Kelly. No worries there.
Yeah.
So continuing on, and as my second subsection comes down, I'm following the same technique. You can tell that my stroke is still fairly closed. I'm still just building that perimeter line of the haircut. Once I begin to move into my third subsection, I will begin to open the stroke a little bit more to begin to create the graduation through the haircut. Because I've spoke about this through previous haircuts, that when you're cutting graduation with the razor, you don't necessarily have to rely on the elevation or the projection of pulling the hair up off the shape of the head to create the graduation. You can do it within the stroke of the razor. So the more open the stroke becomes, the more graduation it's going to put through the edge of the hair. So I will begin to project out a little bit to create graduation, but I'll begin to open the stroke. But you'll notice that I'll never really project it out as if I were cutting it with a scissor, cutting a traditional like graduated bob, to get that same type of elevation and buildup of weight or weight line with the razor. So now you can see, this is my third subsection. I'm sitting right there at the occipital. I'm going to begin to elevate it up off the shape of the head lightly. And now coming in with the tip of the razor, I'm going to get a little bit more aggressive in regards to how open my stroke is. It's definitely gone from, maybe like a half-inch movement to maybe more of like an inch movement to produce more softness through the bottom edge of the hair and to begin to create graduation through the internal shape.
North Shore says he's from the eastern North Shore of Canada, actually.
Okay. Northern East Shore of Canada?
Yeah.
So there are waves out there, huh?
Eastern North Shore of Canada. Yeah.
I love it.
It sounds cold.
Can we start on our Strange Brew references? No? Hey? Got some...
Hey, there's a mouse in my beer.
I love it.
Oh, now it begins.
Right? So beginning to continue on. And that's what I love about cutting like wavy curly hair, is from subsection to subsection, I can begin just to kind of lift the hair up, and I think it's kind of come in with my hand like a rake, kind of pick it up, and begin to push the shape in a little bit and begin to see the softness and the shape that I'm beginning to create. And you can begin to really like visually check your work as you're working through it. So moving upward, I'm going to kind of work up in the same mannerisms, but just continually open the stroke of the razor a bit more so, as well as elevate the hair out a bit more so from subsection to subsection. All right. So let's see here. What's been going on at Federico? Anything new and exciting going on here at Federico?
The back of your black shirt.
The back of my, whoa. You like that?
And fade to black.
There we go. So,
I'm just gonna put a taser on the camera.
oh, that's good. It's just a section's dragging down. Okay. So let's see. This weekend coming up in Federico Advanced, we have Russell Mays coming up.
Yeah,
Russell from the Orange County area, and Russell will be spending a few days with us doing not a razoring class, but a layering class, and it's called I can't remember.
Layers?
Perfect Layers. Thank you, Josh. Perfect Layers. He's doing a day with our students and then a day with industry professionals. So that's cool for Russell coming up. We still have a few spots available, so if there's anybody in the more local to Northern California, if you want to get very adventurous and venture out of your hometowns and travel into Sacramento this weekend to check out Mr. Russell Mays. We still have a few tickets available. And coming up the next month in June, we have some members of the Erosion team coming out to do an American Wave certification class. And I'm sure you guys have all heard of American Wave. If you haven't, comment in below and we'll chat about it.
It's a perm.
It's a new take on the perm, you know. Yeah. But yeah, you can get certified in the service, and it's a great point of difference. It's a different service that you can begin to offer into your salon.
Like a perm.
Yeah.
Is it like a perm?
We were rearranging the hair pattern, so yeah. Pushing me into a box. It's like a perm. Yeah, it's a new take on a perm.
Okay, so
It's a new take on perm. It's newer technology, so they say, but you're utilizing those sponge rods and different wraps, different shapes, different techniques. So yeah.
So it puts wave in there.
Puts wave into the hair.
Okay. Like a body wave.
What about a relaxer? That's a perm.
It is a perm.
That's
because it's permanent.
taking wave out of the hair.
Yeah.
What about hair color? Is that a perm? What about tattoos?
That would be a perm. Yeah.
That is a perm. No, it's fucking
Like
around.
a perm.
Get a perm. So anyway, all right, back on track. We got the Erosia thing coming up. That's the end of June. Dates: 22nd, 23rd, June 22nd and 23rd, and then we'll hit on more of the calendar because it'll give me things to talk about.
That was really philosophical there.
Down the way, right? What about what alcohol does to your liver?
That's definitely a perm.
Is that a perm?
Yeah. Marriage? Surprisingly, not so perm.
No, right? No.
50-50 perm.
Yeah.
Semi-perm.
Yeah, it's like root perm.
God, I don't even know if it's 50-50 perm anymore, man. If you look at like what the statistics are with people like staying married, it's kind of sad. All right.
Big party.
Yeah. So Josh has got this. How's the camera action going tonight, guys? Comment in, because Josh has got this new really cool little dolly system that he's just rolling it around on. Should be really seamless and smooth unless I go about and kick it, or he does. Somebody's gonna kick it.
Well,
So it's gonna happen, or Adam's gonna like actually
it's still
show
an
you
elbow magnet for you.
or Adam's gonna show you what he's doing with this haircut, and not his elbow or the back of his black shirt.
Oh, see, that's good. All right.
Cool.
See.
I'm not gonna blame it on the cameraman. You just have the back of my shirt. You can just roll your camera around and
We spent $40 on the dolly.
right. Get the shot. Get the shot.
My elbow isn't the issue here.
So what I'm doing now in the last two bits of the haircut is I'm using the tip of the razor and going in and kind of tipping into the mid shafts sections of the haircut to begin to open up and remove some of the bulk and weight and to give the curl pattern a little bit more like freedom to come to life and then move. So the haircut has that graduated modern feeling and it doesn't sit, too bulky because I don't want like a definitive weight line by any means. It wouldn't make sense if I was using the razor trying to create a definitive weight line. If I wanted that, I'd just probably opt for the scissor. Although you could do it, you'd just keep more of a closed stroke the whole way through. But you can tell that as I'm cutting with the razor, I'm still following a very disciplined approach in regards to my sections, my subsections, and combing directions, distribution, finger angle, all the good stuff that makes a really great haircut. Need a little water. A little bit of water. It was water for me and water for the head. And I apologize if you can hear me crunching the ice in the microphone. Okay. So Jacob's gonna come up. Jacob, as I cut the next section, we'll spin Kelly around. Jacob's gonna come up. You guys know Jacob. We have him here every week for the most part. Jacob, say what's up.
Hi.
Hey, Jacob. Jacob's going to talk a little bit about his makeup and his makeup inspiration. And yeah,
Okay.
go for it.
So we were talking a little bit about what is in for the season earlier today, and kind of been the same every spring, summer. So it's all about neutral eyes, pop of color on the cheek or on the lips or both, and perfect skin. So I was inspired today by skin, and I've been going on YouTube a lot lately, watching makeup tutorials and seeing a lot of tutorials on contouring and highlight. So a lot of it's done with cream foundations or cream concealers, and it's kind of layered pretty heavy on the skin. And being that it's summer and it's getting hotter outside, I kind of experimented with doing contouring and highlight with powder foundation, medium coverage powder, and it worked out really well, I think. And you're able to get that same definition, but it's a little bit more wearable for the hotter time of the year, and you still get that definition. So I contoured her face and her eyes using a bronzer that didn't have any shimmer, and then just did a really neutral eye, soft mascara, a little pink lip for a pop of color.
Cool.
Yeah.
Can I put you on the spot?
Sure.
Sure. Okay. So Jacob says, like, you've noticed that, makeup really hasn't transitioned much in the last 4 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
So to you as an artist, makeup artist, or just an artist in general, like, how would you like to see like makeup evolve? Like, what would you like to see in a perfect world today? Like, I understand like trends continually like develop and move, but
Mm-hmm. I think for me at least, and this is kind of my aesthetic as a makeup artist, is more natural makeup, softer. It's gotten a little bit better, but I would say over the years it's transitioned to a little bit more makeup, especially with eyes. My aesthetic is really soft, really light, bridal makeup. I'd like it to, I guess, transition into kind of a softer look. I think it's more flattering on everyone.
Cool.
To go softer.
Excellent.
Do you find it hard when people ask you what's kind of hot in makeup right now, or are there definitive trends, and do they move faster than hair, you think?
There are definitive trends, but I feel like most of them are the same. I mean, it transitions seasonally, and like winter, it's red lip, winged eyeliner, and then like I said with spring, summer, it's always like the brighter tones, corals if you're worm tone, pinks if you're cool tone. So I mean, it is pretty predictable.
So will there be those like hot colors that come along and they don't stick around long though, right?
I mean, there are. I mean, you look at brands like MAC, a lot of their lipstick shades have stuck around since the inception of the brand. So there are really key items out there that I think most makeup artists are aware of and use often.
So here's a question, I guess, to all three of us, as well as people can comment in. But why as an industry do I feel, and you feel this way in regards to makeup, that nothing has really like transitioned too much? I mean, obviously in the last year we've seen a little bit more of the resurgence of texture, but I really feel like, bangs or fringes have been like really strong for the past, 5-6 years in hair. And before that it was all about like straight hair, straight hair, straight hair, straight hair. Like, why hasn't there been like the natural progression to move to something different? And if so, what would it be? Josh, and I'm sure you as an artist, and Jacob, and I myself, we all have our own different takes, so open forum here.
I have a theory that I've been thinking. I think that this is the first decade, I guess you could say, where we're not really creating new, we're drawing from the past. So I feel like everything that's really editorial, and I'm speaking mainly in makeup, I guess, is really drawing from decades past, not really creating anything very new. I don't think it's a bad thing, but I think we're just drawing from the past a little bit more.
Okay.
You want my answer?
Sure.
Of why we're stuck with things right now?
Why are we stuck with things?
I think that the hairstyles of right now are a symptom of 2008 that we're still recovering from. Because long wavy hair that doesn't need cut but once a year is a symptom of people not being able to afford haircuts. And ombre is a symptom of people not being able to not being able to afford to get their highlights touched up every 6 to 8 weeks. And so it becomes roots and it became in fashion. And I think that we're still, as hairstylists, we haven't created anything that's high maintenance. But the quick little trends seem to be faster now, such as purple pastel hair or stuff like that, simply because of Tumblr. But those are, or the rooster feathers like we saw.
Oh.
But those quick little trends don't seem to be lasting very long at all.
Right.
Like 6 months tops. I think the little micro trends are moving quite quickly. But as hairstylists, I think maybe with society's obsession with celebrity right now, I don't think any really hot celebrities have cut bobs lately, so we're not cutting as many bobs lately. And I think it purely comes from an American obsession with celebrity.
American obsession with celebrities, yeah.
And Jacob, get back up in front there. Because we have a question from some lady named Sarah Federico.
Oh.
Hey Jacob, ... How do you feel about the aqua eyeliner that was on the runways this season? Is it wearable for the average woman?
Depends on who you're talking about. Yeah, I think so. I've seen a lot of colors launch recently that are specifically in the brighter tones for the waterline, which I think is a completely wearable trend. But yeah, I guess it just depends on how bold you are. But I would say so. I've seen plenty of that. I do work in retail cosmetics, but yeah.
What a funny question. I think we should block that user.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Blocked. Banned.
Blocked. Okay. So I'm finishing up the back of the head. The only thing I did that was a little bit different. The last subsection, I went into something a little bit more vertical to begin to flatten out the shape through here. So, because this is all going to lay over mildly disconnected, and as it lays over disconnected, I don't want it to sit like way too round and bubbly through here. So I began to build up that graduation, definitely through that bottom nape. Through here, and then began to flatten the shape out a little bit more so through the lower crown area. And now I'm going to quickly kind of go back in and just tip into some of it to continue on with that release of the internal weight. And it's very important, and I've seen this a lot with training young hairdressers, is they work so hard on building a very strong shape and technique in the haircut, and they go on, whether if they're cutting it with the razor or they're cutting it with the scissor, and when they go in to like texturize it, they'll start picking shit up and cutting it at any different angle, and that will essentially go in and diminish the shape that you've just worked on, so hard on creating. I've watched like so many people like cut very strong square shapes, and they're like, cool, like I got this really great square shape. Now I'm gonna go and just kind of soften it up. The first thing they'll do is come up here and just knock out the corner. Like, wow, there goes your shape, obviously. So it's very important that when you're going in and you are like doing some, I call it finishing techniques, or at this point it's not finishing because I'm still working through it, but softening techniques, texturizing techniques, that you're still utilizing the same points of over direction, if that was there, or distributing the hair the same way as that the original cut was created. So you don't begin to change the shape internally. But second thought on that is, if you understand hair cutting and you understand how to build shape and technique, there's actually a second train of thought on that where you can actually go in and cut internal shapes that differ from the external shape of the line intentionally to give the haircut a little bit of a twist, a little bit of a quirk of your own self. So, but that comes with a thorough understanding of cutting hair, So it really bases off your basic understanding of, creating very strong shapes and techniques and how they can work with each other and work against each other. And so forth. And it's like one of those things, once you know the rules, please break them, because it really sucks to follow rules all the time. All right, head up and then to the right.
So does that mean I can start smoking in my office?
Yeah. You didn't hear from me. You didn't hear from me.
Well,
Go
no,
for
I
it.
just heard it. I said, all right, perfect,
Yeah. Yep.
I heard it, yeah.
I was like, yep. Smoke in your office.
Smoking loud. I'm gonna need a budget for red velvet walls.
Red velvet walls
And
an,
fine leather couches.
and an exhaust fan.
I want the veal of leather couches.
The veal of leather. Oh my
Yeah.
God. Okay. So I'm going to begin to transition into the front. I'm going to still utilize a very soft A-line shaped section. Head position is going to be away from me to build up weight through the bottom perimeter line. And bringing that hair down. First few will definitely be continuing on the line of the haircut. Down to the shoulder, and then coming in with the blade. Cut that bit off. Moving forward. Any questions, anything?
No,
No? Okay.
I'm gonna refresh it.
We scared off North Shore.
Yeah.
We were talking about, Canada or something.
Polar bear.
Oh. All right, so now moving up into the next subsequent subsection, I'll begin to elevate this up and off the shape of the head a little bit more so to release a little bit of weight through the bottom edge of the line. Still following the same principles of over direction. Distribution back. Retaining the corner of the haircut in the front to create that soft triangular shape. It's always easy to go back in, release weight out. Obviously we have half the amount of hair through the sides as we do to the back because of the way that the hairline drops. So I always like to retain and work really low points of elevation through the sides to start. And then once I can begin to see how that line is created and how much weight's sitting in it, I can go back in and diffuse it out softly by, a higher point of elevating or projecting the hair up and off the shape of the head. All right, water break. July we have the teals coming out. Yeah, that's cool. Back on the Federico Advanced calendar. The teals are, based out of Portland, Oregon.
I'm gonna steal all their wig making secrets.
I'm gonna say you guys are coming out. There's 3 of you. I want 6 wigs by the time you're done. They'll leave here. Go. We'll feed you lots of limoncello and whatever else you need to crank them out. So the teals are coming out, and they're actually doing a wig making class. So that's gonna be really, really cool. So I know that a lot of us hairdressers get very complacent in the salon doing the same old thing, oh, I want a long hair, layered, whatever it might be, or you've got, the same Sally Mae coming into you every 4 weeks for the same old haircut. That's great and it pays the bills, but it doesn't feed your creativity sometimes. And it's very important to continually feed your creativity. So the teals class will be super cool because it's, like I said, it's a wig making class and they do a lot of different editorial work. So they're gonna work with you on how to develop and create your own wigs so you can utilize them on shoots. And Josh has been shooting a lot, and Josh has really began getting into shooting more so with wigs for the reason of
Quick change.
quick change.
You can change the model in a matter of minutes.
Yeah, you can get a gorgeous model, right? Sometimes it's always hard to find the gorgeous model
Pretty
who
girls won't let you cut all their hair off.
plop a wig on them.
They're jerks.
Style up the wig a few different ways. Throw a couple different wigs on them. And obviously a different wig, a different haircut, hairstyle, hair color definitely change the look of the face. So you can utilize that model more so and get more out of your day, more of your time. So that's really cool, a different way to think. So that's gonna be July 28th. So that's the teals coming up. I'm gonna save the next one for a few more minutes because I'm gonna work on that last name in the depths of my head. Okay, so now moving on to the right hand side. continuing on that line, dragging it down, working off of that back mastoid point is a working guide. Distribution point with my combing direction is still perpendicular. You can tell that the subsection line is very minimal triangular, so the little bit of perpendicular distribution will help create a little bit more of an A-line feel. Like I said, I don't want a real strong A-line. I just want a really soft transitional line going from the back to the front. Lower that chair down a little bit. Bring this hair down, and I'm going to cut the second subsection just into the previous. But I'll elevate it up off the shape of the head a bit to get a little bit more graduation through it. So yeah, staying inspired. Staying inspired as a hairdresser, I think, is one of the toughest things that we have to do, you know, in our career all day, every day. You know, I think it's in any kind of creative career to stay inspired. So, you know, I think as an artist and a creator, you've got to really like search outside the box sometimes to figure out, you know, what it is that begins to move you, you know, from day to day through the world to continue on doing what you're doing. So you just don't like get burnt out and jump ship, jump careers, or, you know, just completely like check out. I mean, that's what happens to a lot of artists. It's like kind of like check out and become like vagabonds of the world, maybe. If they're lucky. No. But so I think inspiration can come from like many places, and I can't tell you where to go find it, where to, you know, grasp at it at. That's for your own kind of like own soul searching, if you will. And no one can tell you if it's right or wrong. I think the weirdest things like, you know, that inspire me, people will ask me, oh, you know, how do you get inspired, or what inspires you about hair? Like, honestly, I don't look into our industry for inspiration at all. It actually uninspires me. And I'm not trying to be like, you know, blasphemous or slander our industry, but like if I really like go to a hair show or I flip through an industry publication, it really turns me off. And I actually begin to question myself, like, what the fuck am I doing in this career?
Yeah.
You know?
That way?
Yeah, like what is this industry I'm in? It just seems so like, superficial. It seems just so undone in a lot of ways. It just, I mean, it seems just pretentious.
Remember before the internet how the Midwest was? How it was 10 years behind anything?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Like, in the 90s, like people were still wearing those like hats with the flaps in the back.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Those hats
I
are
feel like
rad.
that's what the hair industry is.
Yeah.
Is it's quite a few years behind like Vogue fashion.
Sure.
And high-end fashion.
Yeah. You can definitely pick up like a Vogue or still like even a Bazaar or some of like, you know, some really cool kind of like subculture generation, like, you know, fashion magazine, and definitely pull inspiration from there. I remember back in the day, I'd always like go and grab like, you know, ID magazine, like Nylon when they first started really coming out. And that was like really cool kind of inspiration. Because it was definitely a little bit more raw in the sense of like fashion, if you will. So, you know, but like I say, my inspiration can change and where I'm grabbing it from. Every year, every couple of years, you know, I definitely get into things and I'm like, oh, this is totally moving me and it's totally inspiring me, but it's getting me where I need to be like upstairs mentally to continually do what I do, which is obviously my art and my craft of doing hair. And how do I make that transpire onto hair? Well, some of it's relevant, and some of it can definitely like play out, like, oh, I'm very inspired, you know, but some of it just kind of keeps me excited and keeps me motivated to live inside. And I think that's really a big part of it. So it doesn't need to be like, I'm inspired by this, so I'm going to create this on your hair. It's just about staying excited, you know, within yourself and within your own inner psyche to continue on every day. Does that make sense? Or am I just like talking out of my
No, it totally makes sense.
yang? Okay, cool.
Well, I also love the stock answers that hairdressers give for inspiration too. Like, I'm really inspired by architecture. Really, who's your favorite architect?
Right. Bauhaus.
Yeah.
I know, I mean, I'm not trying to slam anything, but I just hear that so much.
No, because there are some
You know.
hairdressers that really are
Sure, but
by
yeah.
architecture, but then there's the people that have heard those people talk about what they're inspired by,
Right.
and then just go, yeah, me too.
Yeah.
It's like that annoying person that's like, that just agrees with everything you say.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, me too.
Uh-huh. Me too, yeah. That's great.
Me too. Yeah.
It's true. It's true.
I know. Yeah. Me too. I did that.
For me, like, music was always a huge inspiration.
Me too.
Yeah. Music, how broad.
I know, right? What kind of music?
Shit you never heard of.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay. Yeah. So, back in. So I'm going back in, like I said, now I'm going into some of those side sections and just kind of like tipping into it just to begin to open it up so I can begin to see the inner transfer of weight, and you can kind of just see it through the wave pattern right here, how all that's moving. So I've got a nice transfer of a line, nice transfer of an internal weight, a very soft triangular line sitting through the bottom perimeter. So I'm just kind of like looking at the fluidity of the shape through here. You know, if you were to go through and definitely cross-check this haircut, you would definitely see that it's technically cut, very sound, that, you know, edges to edges, everything's matching up, there's a good balance. But then again, through the inner core of the haircut, it's definitely beginning to get a little bit softer and looser to make those curl patterns come to life. Okay. Drop the top, because it's summertime. So I ask you one more time, left to the right.
Right to the left.
Right to the left. I've had to ask Kelly 3 times which way we part. Right to the left to the right, right to the
I
left.
struggle to remember my left and right, so you're testing me.
Yeah. So that mirror I brought into Josh's office thinking that I would use it while I cut hair. I haven't even looked at it one time. Maybe because it's buried behind all that shit. I can't even see it, but wait, we don't need it. All right. So for the upper part of the interior, right to the left.
Right to the left.
Right to the left. Right to the left.
Yes.
Okay. For the right to the left.
You should just take a cell phone picture. I've been part of that way.
So what I'm going to begin to do, I'm bringing this back. Like I said, this is still extremely disconnected. So I'm going to begin to work off of the back crown line, but keep it mildly disconnected. And when you work disconnection, I think a lot of people think like, oh, I got to cut disconnection. It's got to have this like, it's cut here, then all of a sudden it drops down to here. Like disconnection is simply like when, you know, point A and point B don't match up. But
Minimum of 4 disconnections.
in a haircut? Minimum?
4 disconnections minimum.
You're quite generous. I generally say 2 or 3.
No.
You know?
5.
Oh, no.
Just disconnect.
That's a safety gate. Oh, it's fucked up. It says disconnected. You know? Oh, man.
Oh, I'm sorry. You must have at least 5 disconnections to participate in this hashtag.
And 4 or 5 points. Yeah.
Flippy points.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to begin to work on these soft diagonals moving forward through the upper interior of the head, utilizing this back round of the crown off the right-hand point is my over direction point. And I'm going to distribute the hair all straight out and flat from that crown of the head. That way everything stays soft, but I don't elevate it up too much where it becomes just too soft, too layered, where I begin to lose, you know, obviously some of that disconnection just from obviously pulling all the weight out of the hair. So using a flat point of distribution, so kind of just directing everything straight out, flat back off the head, off this right-hand corner, and my reference and a cutting length is going to be this last bit of a layer here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this hair out. reference it, slip past it, meaning let it slip out of the back end of my hands. Boom, it's out. And now begin with the heel of the blade as I'm cutting to the left with a really strong open shape and cutting a short to long progression of lengths. So it's going to be like shorter getting longer here. So as I finish this out, I'll have this like kind of like over directed kind of like cool frontal piece that'll just sit a little bit longer and softer than everything going on in the front left hand corner. So bringing this back, working off that, continuing on that same line. And from subsection to subsection, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the line, pick up that section again, and then come back through it. Where's my elbow? Right in the way.
All right, you're actually all right.
And come back in. And notice the use of the razor is how as I move up into the shafts of the hair. I started definitely lower into the tips and that longer point, and then as I begin to work up, I'm beginning to move that razor up closer to the scalp and to the internal lengths. So as I begin to create a short to long progression of internal lengths into the haircut as well. So I've got a short to long line like so, as well as an internal line that's short to long. That's going to help obviously release weight and bulk, but encourage that movement. Because we all know in theory, short hair pushes long hair, or it helps. Okay. Not a lot of questions. So maybe I should hit on that. You know, you can comment in below, and you can also tweet in. Or if you know Josh's personal cell phone number, like I do, you know, I'll text him. I'll text him in if I don't have.
You're not the only one.
Oh, perfect. That's good.
No, I probably get like 10 texts a night.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. All right.
No, it's mostly shit talking.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm glad that you weed those ones out. You know, I'm surprised with the Barber Night Live, there hasn't been a lot of the shit talking going
Not
on.
yet?
Yeah, not yet.
Oh, it's coming.
Oh, yeah.
It's like Game of Thrones. It's coming.
Still getting out there, man. The winter is coming. So I got that point. Come back in, open it up. Assessing my shape, always looking at it. It's looking good. And I can tell that that top internal shape, by going into that interior, is beginning to come a little bit more alive. All right. So continuing upward, same points of distribution, just back and flat off the background of the head. I kind of pinch it together a little bit just for control. I'll begin a little higher up. Removing that out, getting a little bit more aggressive with the razoring motion. Continuing it on into that longer point. I think it's kind of cool though, if you watch, you know, whether it's a weapon of choice to Federico Advanced, whether it's, you know, me cutting, or we got DC doing barbering. Yeah, it's a bunch of dudes, but I think between the different nights, you get to really capture, you know, different ways of cutting hair. And Josh primarily cuts, you know, more with the scissor, but definitely very structured in the beginning, and then gets very, like, you know, free form and loose with it at the end. And you see in me cut primarily with the plie, and I can cut very structured with the razor or with the scissor, which I did, you know, last time around. But then you got the barbering and a lot of the clipper cutting. So I think that's a cool aspect, man. I think
we got you covered.
I think we got you covered with hair cutting. You know, hair color is a little hard to show because you don't want to watch somebody apply hair color.
I don't want to hear people talk about hair color.
Oh, really?
I don't know. I would go right to sleep.
Oh shit, man.
Yeah,
I almost had this idea of like, if I can't find a model for tonight, I'm just gonna get back here and do the theory of hair color. Just for you.
I would sleep. As soon as I hear letters and numbers,
Josh is out.
Yeah.
Josh will be like, I'm outside. I'm gonna be smoking. Let me know when you're done. Actually, I'm going home. Let's turn off the computer.
yeah. Button that says shut down.
And we've got some really great makeup, obviously, by Jacob. So, and I asked this, and this is live, so you can comment in now, or are they able, Josh, to comment in like at a later date and for us to see the comments on them?
Yeah.
Like, what is it, and I ask it, and I'm being very like genuine when I ask it, what is it that you want to see? Because on our team over here, we've got some extremely strong, artists that kind of hit on all aspects of the industry. Like, we've got this girl who does really great, like, editorial styling, and it doesn't have to be really funky editorial. It can be more conventional, kind of like, call it, red carpet hair, bridal hair, if you will, whatever you want to call it. Like, are you interested in seeing some of that? Are you interested in seeing color? And if it were, it'd be pre-done and just maybe like drawn out like techniques of how the color was placed. We wouldn't get too heavily into like the breakdown of formulations, because that's going to change from obviously user to user on what you use in the salon. We could speak generically of it.
We got 10 comments in a row that said, no, don't do color. Color sucks.
Okay, excellent.
That was so weird, yeah.
Or wait, how about the night where I've decided where it's just us sitting around drinking beer and just talking.
Says definitely don't do color.
Jerkface 92. Oh man.
Sexy Kitten says, if you do color, I'm gonna come down there and punch you in the face. Sort of like that. So.
Most of the comments are like that?
Yeah.
Oh, I guess we're doing no color.
Yeah.
Sorry, color guys.
Yeah.
So Federico Live is a haircutting show and a makeup show. And we talk about what we're doing here. But you can see lots of great haircutting. And shit talking, I guess. And just keeping it real. And I think that's the cool part about Federico Advanced, in all honesty. And that's what I hear from different people out there, is like, you're gonna click on this and we're just here being real, I'm not gonna put on the air of pretension of the industry. I think
45 says, it's really cool having you three cutting hair now. Adam should get more viewers. The quality of his education is F***, IN rare.
fucking rare. Thank you. Just type it out, buddy. That's what I'm talking about. Keep it real.
And followed up with Adam Rolls.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah.
Thanks, North Shore. I'm coming to the east part of Canada. Dude, that's like where Quebec is. You'll probably hear this 10 minutes later. So where are you at in relations to Quebec? Because I've always wanted to go to Quebec. Never been. Are you above it? Are you below it? Because now I got a house to stay at. Thanks. Thanks for the invite, buddy.
Get your couch ready.
Well, I've got my surfboard, and I figure we're going surfing somewhere.
Don't let him in. Don't let him in.
On the East Coast, it's going to be cold. Are there waves? We're surfing ice caps. Okay. So continuing on, moving upward, you can see I began to slightly elevate these last few sections up off the shape of the head as I tip through it, because I do want to release a little bit more bulk and weight out, because obviously that mass point of over direction is going to definitely veil rather heavy into that frontal face. So I'm sure I'll be dragging this backwards. Sorry, Kelly. It's kind of yanked on you there. And with elevation, the higher I elevate the hair off the shape of the head, the more weight we pull out of the hair. The lower the elevation, the more we build up.
Oh, he is in Quebec.
Is he?
Yeah.
Dude, awesome.
Yeah.
I want to go there. It sounds like little Paris or something. It's supposed to be beautiful. I had an old buddy that lived there for years, and then he moved. He moved from Quebec to, where the hell was Edwin from? Palm Desert, California.
Oh,
Dude, this sounds like so like.
awful.
But he was like this dude. He's cool. I love Canadians, because every Canadian I've met have been so friendly, and all parts of Canada I've been to are so clean. And whenever I tell a Canadian that, they're like, "You're nuts. You're out of your mind. What are you thinking?" But anyway, he just had in his mind like he wanted to move to California. In his mind, like California is California, and he moved to Palm Desert, man.
It's all Baywatch.
Like really?
Yeah. When we're off work, we're all wearing red swimsuits, running around in slow motion. It's what we do.
Oh man. So
North Shore says, and yeah, the water is fucking cold.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'd imagine so. Upper East Coast of Canada. Okay. So we're almost through here, and we're going to begin finishing. But before we move forward, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back on the similar type of angle, just coming back into the front. And we're going to work backwards with that tipping technique, just so by the time I'm done, I want to have the weight, internal weight situated within this haircut. Because as we all know that if you begin going in and you know, pulling out weight and doing a lot of texturizing of the haircut post blow dry on curly hair, especially if you're going to diffuse it out, it's just going to get frizzy. So I want to make sure that I got everything, you know, well situated and in place. So coming back into this front, I'm just going to kind of check where this corner is at. She had some shorter, Kelly had some shorter frontal layering. Like I said, it was like a round graduated layer from the previous haircut. So that's definitely not falling into that bottom perimeter line, which is cool, which is okay. But I want to make sure that this is definitely light enough. That's just going to transition seamlessly into the bottom of the haircut.
See that.
Cameraman fired. How do you like that? Got all new angles, new motions, new movement.
Great.
I can't go home to watch it, to watch like the seamless motions.
Yeah.
Not the jerkiness of lifting it up.
Can't wait to see all the different angles of your elbow. That sounds awesome. Look at it, it sounds like 3D.
A little oil on those elbows. Okay. All right. So, yeah. Back to Federico Advanced calendar. By the end of the night, I'll make it through it. August. I'm going to skip August. I'm going straight to September. No, in August, Demetrius. So I want to skip it. In August, August 18th.
Really, that's what's happening right now.
August 17th and 18th, we've got Demetrios coming out. Demetrios from Goldwell. Huh?
Smulakis.
No way.
Yeah.
What is it?
Smulakis.
Bullshit. No, we got Demetrius coming out from, you know, Goldwell. Demetrius has been a Naha winner, you know, made it into the, what do they call that? It's when you make it into the second round. The do or the die. So with Simon Cowell. What do they call that?
American Idol?
No. With
X Factor?
Semifinalists? What do you, when you enter Naha? Whatever.
The Voice?
So yeah, Demetrius will be coming out with Goldwell. And we have Sonia Brado, who is another Naha semifinalist, I believe it is, in August. They're going to be doing a really large stage show here. And then the second day will be some hands-on education with me, and then some look and learn with them. So if I were you, you learn more from doing hands-on. So screw them and take my hands-on class.
You don't want to take a class from someone whose last name you can't even remember.
Right. What? Oh, man. September, we've got DJ Muldoon coming out. DJ Muldoon. Mid-September. Who's that guy? DJ. You don't know. If you haven't heard of DJ, then yeah, log off. DJ will be out, and then in October, oh wait, there's the correct date. No, that's not the correct date for DJ because we moved it up. It's like mid-September. We have this all actually, if you go onto federico.edu, it's our home website for Federico, and you can get into our advanced education tab, and you can pull down our calendar right then and there, and you can check out all the upcoming artists, a little bit about each one, as well as sign up for a class, pay for the class, reserve your spot. So boom, we've made it easy. That's at federico.edu. And then in October, Douglas McCoy. Douglas McCoy will be out October 19th and 20th, representing the House of Pop. And if you don't know who Douglas McCoy is, the same kind of thing. As Josh says, you know, if you don't know who Josh XO is, then where the fuck you been for the past couple of years, right? Where the fuck you been?
I don't know.
I don't know. Because I've been hanging out in this cave for the last year.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't even do hair anymore.
He stands
Cave
behind.
dweller. Dwell in the cave.
Wow. So all right. So I'm going to begin to diffuse Kelly's hair out. As I'm spraying this water through it, I'm doing two things. One, I'm rehydrating it, but two, everything I do has intention. I'm also putting my left hand through it and I'm filling out the weight of the haircut, seeing if there's anything I need to do last minute before I pick up my blow dryer and I begin diffusing it. Every time I have a curly head client, wavy haired client that I'm gonna go out natural, it's very important that I either A, take them back to the bowl, rehydrate the hair completely, or mist them down thoroughly to get that hair, you know, obviously resaturated. So when I go in and diffuse it, it's all gonna begin drying from the one, obviously, saturated state, so I can control the what may happen with the freeziness. So I'm gonna come in with a little bit of some curl defining product, a good amount. This is gonna help just kind of control the curl, unify the curl, beat the heat. And go ahead back, begin lightly raking that product through, and then begin squeezing it in from underneath. There's a lot of moisture in there. I can understand there's a lot of moisture when it gets squishy. Sorry. Okay, go ahead and bring your head up. And then once I get that product through, my second step, right where she's a little unruly right around the face, I'll definitely kind of utilize the palms of my hands to push a little bit more of that product through. Large teeth of my cutting comb to distribute the product. Again, to comb the haircut into position. Dun, dun, dun. Make sure I go from the left to the right. I don't want a really hard part in this. I want this to come down lightly. I think that would be nice. This is going to come down. And now my favorite part, the blow dry.
Yay.
Yay. Okay. So maybe a little bit of milk. I haven't, you know, used any milk. I did a little bit earlier. Milk by Reverie.
Best stuff ever.
Best stuff ever. Always gotta pump a little bit of milk by Garrett Markinson, Reverie. You can go on to reverie.com. No, you go on to gmreverie.com. Just Google Garrett Markinson. You'll find him. Cool dude, good team, good crew. Great product.
Great smell.
Great smell. Bergamot. Great smell. Okay. So now I'm just kind of coming back up and underneath it and just pushing that curl pattern into shape. And twist these little bits up so they stay a little bit more locked while I diffuse. And hang with me as I dry. And as I dry, go to your fridge, grab a frosty brew, re-pour your cocktail. You probably even head to Taco Bell if you want, if that's what you're into. High heat, high fan speed for the sake of the blow dry. Diffuser on. Keep it nice and tight to the shape of the head. I don't want to lose any of that airflow. All right, so upcoming in 2015 at Federico Advanced, we got a different type of educational calendar coming down the line. We're going to have a lot of education that is hosted by AJF Salon. So my team being you know, myself and Jacob will be involved, and this lovely girl by the name of Erica will be involved, and Josh. And we'll be doing some great haircutting classes, some excellent editorial styling classes, working with live models, working with you on how to pick out models, to shoot your models at a low budget, so you can begin to work out the different levels, makeup classes, and that's going to be offset by some of the larger named artists that are out there still in this industry, or still in the industry, names that I have on my list to hit up, and I'm telling you, these are the names. Nothing has been locked down for secure, but we got names of like Charlie Price, who we'd like to have out. On my wish list there is Tim Hartley, if I can ever figure out the inner workings and magic of that one. I've got some lofty ambitions with some big names, since we're going to be doing a little less of bringing in people from the outside and to focus in on kind of like bringing in our own inner core team out. The people we bring in, I want to make sure that they're like really big, and you guys would want to obviously head out for it. Sacramento's a really lovely city. We're surrounded by a couple of rivers, some beautiful trees. We have the second most trees in the world, next to Paris, France. What? I gotta sell the city. Because people are like, Sacramento's a cow town. Yeah. So it's really pretty here. People are generally like down to earth, I guess. We're an hour away from Lake Tahoe, an hour away from San Francisco. An hour if you're going 100, and there's no traffic. So maybe about an hour and a half to 2 hours. Yeah. So a little bit about what we've got going on down here. We've got this really cool barbering program going. So if you're from the area and you're interested in you're a cosmetologist, and you've got a brother or sister or a nephew or an aunt or an uncle or a husband who's looking for a career path, we've got this really great barbering program that's just like really killing it right now. But it's all, as well as if you're a cosmetologist and you're interested in getting a crossover license and becoming a licensed barber, we'll have classes starting in definitely before the 2015, so you can become dual licensed. We're kind of doing what we think we're to be like big things here. We've got a great facility. Just kind of talking, killing time. We got Jacob here. Jacob's a great guy. This guy, we like him. There's a reason you see Jacob here every week, other than he does wonderful makeup. So, beginning to see the back. You can begin to see some of the shape that's coming into place. Now I should move into an alternate point of the head. You please let me know if I begin to like burn you at all, yeah? It's 7:15 my time. We should be getting this done in the next 15 minutes. Be right on schedule for getting you out by 7:30. Dinner time. Go home and have another beer. I don't know. I started watching last night the rerun, well not the reruns, but no, Long Way Around again. Long Way Around. Ewan McGregor, Charlie Bromner, and travel around the world on motorbike. It's pretty awesome. I know, you told me that. Last night I almost texted you because I could not remember the name of that website you told me to find it on. There you go. My wife was out and about, and I had like the evening to myself, and I couldn't think of anything to do. So I started watching motorcycle shows. That's my main inspiration. Motorcycles. I can figure out a way to work that into my everyday life job. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. Somebody commenting. How many viewers are watching right now?
There are
None.
8 people watching.
Awesome. So as you diffuse the hair, you know, you generally want to keep your hands out of the hair as much as possible. And I mean by that, keeping your hands out of the hair. You don't want to be like, yeah, and touching it, moving it all around erratically. But it's totally cool to come up and underneath and to grab it intentionally in certain areas and just kind of push that wave pattern into shape where need be. You know, and for the most part, as much as I can, I'd like to keep the airflow always like working down the shaft of hair. But there are certain areas, like as I'm down here in the nape and I'm trying to get a little bit more lift up and out of it and create that graduated shape that are going to come like straight into it. But I always want to watch, you know, how much possible frizziness is that it's creating. And if it is creating frizziness, is it a frizz that I can control with a secondary type of product? I bet you out of those 8, my kids are one of them.
North Star 25 says, you should hook it to Quebec on your cafe racer. This spring winter clothes.
Okay. No problem. No problem. I'll go anywhere. Once. But Quebec sounds like I've got a really good buddy who lives in Quebec. I should, you know, North Shore, where do you work? Because I got a buddy that lives there that's a really cool dude, way into music. He puts on, he's like a promoter out there. I'd love to refer him over to you. Because I don't know where he gets his haircut, but it looks like he could always use a good one. The way these curls are coming together, I'm quite pleased with, quite happy with. I know you guys have been watching the last couple of weeks on the Barber Night Live or on Josh's show, Weapon of Choice, but we've got some new lights in the house.
Your lights are awesome.
They're hot. I mean, you haven't heard me bitch one time about how hot it is in here.
You're not quite tall.
No, it's excellent. I've been really anxious to actually work in front of these lights. And I'll tell you, man, they're great. They're doing everything they need to do.
No, I was worried by the price.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're awesome.
Yeah, yeah. I've been yelled at about like creating shadows at all. Sorry about that, Kelly. Finishing out this left-hand corner with daylight balance. Yeah. Gotta remind me, that's just a trip to Home Depot. Right down the street. We don't have to go anywhere special for that. They have that. Yeah. So as I diffuse, you can see that I'm being very deliberate once again. Just kind of left hand, like a rake, coming up and underneath, pushing the root area up off the scalp so I don't wind up really flat through here, wide through here, to get that nice fullness and roundness all the way through. Just let the diffuser do the work, you know. A lot of times people begin to rush it, they begin to get impatient. Because I feel like, you know, when you're actually diffusing hair, I think it takes less time than if I were to wrap this with the Denman brush and then to go in and polish and smooth it with, you know, whether it's the Denman or a oval nylon boar bristle brush, or whatever your choice would be, and then to come back in and flat iron it. But I feel like we all get a little bit anxious because you're just kind of like standing there. Your clients see that you're just standing there. And you know, you begin to get idle. You begin to get idle in your thought, idle in your time. And they're like, okay, I'm done. And you got like, you know, 3/4 of the head diffused, the other quarter's not. Or it's inconsistently diffused, meaning there's, you know, different amounts of saturation in different areas. So you gotta take your time. And honestly, you should take these breaks as like a mental break and just totally like check out for the couple minutes that you can. Regain yourself, regain your thoughts, where you're at in your day, where you've been, what's coming ahead, as far as clients, as far as what's going on after work, home life, work life, you know. It's always good to check out. Gotta make sure you don't drool. One time that happened. Like this. Just a few more minutes. Sorry, getting blow dry is making me a little warm. And I'm not really a Budweiser guy. I'm an IPA kind of guy. But I love any kind of IPA. Honestly, the hoppier and the more bitter, the better for me. Oh, the cap that goes on the front, is that what he's asking? No, what do you ask?
What's the use of the cocoon diffuser? You can add to the Elchum diffuser.
Yeah.
Do you guys know?
I don't know, you know, I think I understand what you're asking. It's that cap that fits over the top of like the fingers, right? Here's what I've gotten with it, is some people will definitely use the fingers and like, come up and almost use the fingers to like go in, twist, and lift the hair up and out from the root area to create more volume. And if you've got the cocoon, the cap on there, if I'm understanding it's the same piece that I have for this, that's just gonna act as like, you're not gonna be able to do that. And what else it does it do? I don't think it really diffuses the hair out any much more so. It just doesn't give you the fingers? I don't know. That's a great question, man. I was a little taken back by it when I got this blow dryer and I took it out of the box and I looked at that and I'd never seen a diffuser with that kind of piece in it. It reminded me honestly of like a 1960s kind of like blow drying tool. But it's cool. It's still in my drawer. Once in a while I'll put it on. Like my assistants will put it on the top for storage purposes. And if I'm using the diffuser to dry like a guy's head of hair and I'm not going to necessarily use the fingers at all, I'll keep it on. But it's, yeah, please, if somebody knows, like, fill in. I don't know. What's the other question?
You said, George 45 says, I worked in Quebec City in a salon called Keith
Coiffure. Coiffure. How are those fires going down there in San Diego, man? You understand, like almost like the upper San Diego County was like blazing last night?
Oh, yeah, it's gone.
It's done, huh?
Yeah, San Diego's done.
Oh. It's back to being a desert. I told Kelly, like I said, I think I said it's the beginning of the show, I'm going to diffuse her. I'm going to get her a little bit bigger than she'd probably naturally wear it. Kelly, do you diffuse your hair at home? No. She kind of air dries, right? So obviously, if you know with air drying, it's going to sit definitely not as expanded. It's going to sit a little bit just softer, a little bit more weighted down. So it'll never take on this kind of shape unless you were to diffuse it again. But like I said, for picture purposes, I wanted to get it kind of bigger. So now I'm coming up and underneath it and lifting it up and out from the shape of the head. Just very little bits that are just left and forward a little bit. Not as dry as other bits. And Jacob, can I get some of that holding spray real quick? Thanks. A little bit of holding spray just to build a little bit of texture in the hair. It'll help build a little bit of shine. And I'll just dry that right into the hair because that's a wet pump non-aerosol spray. You know, I encourage everybody, if they like what we're doing here on Federico Advanced, on Federico, you know, the YouTube channels, you know, I'll be humble, I'll be honest. Please share the link out via Facebook, Instagram, whatever social content you use, because we're just trying to build our brand and build our message. And, you know, really, the way the Federicos work, we're a big family, a big Italian family, and once you're part of the family, you're part of the family. So, you know, North Shore 75, you're part of the family, man. So let's get some more family members in there.
45.
Oh, 75. Oh, never mind North Shore.
You still like North Shore 75.
Holy smokes. Okay. And it wouldn't be a haircut from Adam unless I used a little bit of this dry spray in there. This will definitely build up a little bit of texture. And I'll hit it one more time with some heat. Set that up, and we're done. Oh my God. Oh, once again, this shit's gonna give me cancer one day. Okay, so what we're gonna do is quickly.
How many Federico family members are there in the industry?
Let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 direct and, well, I'll count 5 in my immediate family, and then we have family down in the Central California area, that have Federico colleges, but they are not part of what we do, completely different corporation. And I believe there's like 2 or 3 of them down there that are doing it. So yeah, it's growing. That's within the industry. I mean, there used to be more when my grandfather and grandmother were alive, and my mom. You know, it's kind of going around the face real quick, taking some of these heavy curl pieces and just doing a little bit of back cutting on there, just to lighten them up. This piece definitely. Little twist, I just take a little twist, just a little bit of a back cut through the mids, and keep that length, pull some of those pieces out, just to break up that texture. I want to keep it like really soft and kind of angelic. It's a little bit heavy right here. Just take this piece. Kind of assessing the shape in the back. A little bit heavy in here. So, Kelly, what I'm going to do is kind of what I always do. I'm going to be stand, and I'm going to have you stand up and just kind of take an eyeline perspective of you. Yeah. Just step back over here. And I'm just kind of like looking through the haircut. Seeing where it might be a little bit weighty, seeing everything kind of like the disposition of it. Looking at the weight, and the lengths, making sure that everything kind of floats together really nicely. That's great. I just feel like this is always a little heavy. Okay, tight. And then to finish it off, just a little bit of hairspray. Okay, so real quick recap. Kelly came in with long hair about down to here. We brought up the length into just a little mid-neck length bob shape. Began to work just a very basic triangular, soft triangular outline shape. Minimal graduation produced with the razor, the feather plie, utilizing a basic diagonal forward subsection. Very low elevation. The graduation was being created by opening up the stroke, hi Katie, opening up the stroke of the razor as I began to move up the shape of the head. The last few subsections as I began to approach at the high occipital, I began to take more of a vertical diagonal, begin to kind of plane out the shape. You can see it's a little bit flatter through here, so this didn't get just too bulbous and round. Continued on with that triangular diagonal subsection into the side to continue the natural fluidity through the internal shape. The top interior was a subdivision around the interior from the exterior at the parietal ridge coming into a soft low V. I began to use slight biased shape, diagonal shaped subsections moving from a short to long point, shorter on the right, getting longer into the left-hand corner, moving across the top. My distribution was straight out from the head to begin to remove some weight out. And as I began to transition into the subsequent subsections moving forward, I began to elevate it up and off the head slightly a bit higher and higher to remove a little bit of that bulk and weight out. So that's slightly disconnected over the back, just so it creates a little bit more of like an airiness as well as chunkiness in the curl pattern. Diffused, you know, with some basic curl kind of product. And like I said, she's definitely got like definitely a fuzzier kind of, you know, curl pattern around the face. I'm just kind of like playing off that and working with it, trying to keep the curls just pulled open and keeping all the textures really kind of like soft and, you know, angelic. So that wraps up my haircut for the evening. Just hang tight. You have clothes on under there?
I do.
Perfect. Okay. Good. We're going to slip off the smock then, because what we're going to do now is, you know, Josh will always snap off a few shots, but be sure to tune in next Tuesday evening for Federico Barber Night Live, 6 p.m. with DC, and then next Thursday evening, Josh will be here with Weapon of Choice at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and then the following week is the 5th Thursday, and generally we say the 5th Thursday should be pint and beer night, but we've got this idea that we're going to cross by you, which would be kind of like a live editorial photo shoot, which there won't really be a lot of talking to the camera. The camera will be kind of tucked back in away in the room, and you can kind of like overview the room of a live photo shoot with people doing hair. So it's going to be, how would you want to explain that? You want to give it 2 sentences?
Just like being a fly on the wall.
Being like a fly on the wall in the middle of like an editorial photo shoot. So we have this other idea of incorporating that into on like Wednesday night. So we're going to do an experimental night the 5th Thursday of this month. So please tune in, check out, give us your feedback, whether it's a cool thing or a shitty thing to do. And other than that, I'll see you the first Tuesday of whatever month to come. June? June's
coming.
Scary. So thank you for tuning in and have a wonderful evening. Yeah. All right.